along with Kent and others, which was extraordinarily valuable. So if you just give me 10 more minutes, I just want to give you a couple reminders as we go into 2018 manure season. And you've heard me talk a lot about these things, so I'm not going to go into great detail about any one of them, but just to remind you the tools that are out there to help you make the best decisions possible this season. First of all, though, what do you guys see here? Right? And it depends on who you ask. You either see an asset or you see a liability. And frankly, everyone in this room, I want to see this as an asset. The manure you produce on your farm is an extraordinarily valuable product. It is your fertilizer. It is what keeps your crops going. It's what keeps our soil amazing in this county. It's an amazing product you have. It's all in how you think about it and how you use it. And you have two choices in your objectives. You either have nutrient management, where you're thinking of agronomics. I need to put the right rate out at the right time for my crop, or you have waste management, which is waste disposal. My lagoon's about to tip over, over the tops. I need to just get that out. Or the end of the season, I just want to dump all that stuff out there so I've got enough room for the winter season to collect all that water. You don't have to do one or the other here. You can always do nutrient management, even at the end of the season, even when you're about to have an issue. You can still think of it from the aspect of nutrient management. You can always do the right thing. So just remember that. And so I want to kind of go over some of the tools we have available for you. When you think about the 4 R's of nutrient management, all of these have come up today, but the two big ones are the right time and the right placement. The right rate, of course, is extraordinarily important. Still, over-application, no matter what you do otherwise, can still be an issue. And the source being solids versus liquids. You're going to do things differently, as Michael just showed. You're going to do things a little differently when we're thinking of one or the other, or it's grazing. Or you are a crop farmer and you're using, do I use fertilizer or manure right now? So that makes a difference. But these two things together, the right timing of manure or nutrient application and the right placement, the placement being your setbacks, hence the theme of the day for the most part, is what we call application risk management, or ARM. So you'll hear this term kind of tossed out. It's a program we've developed with the tools I want to show you here next. And it essentially goes over these 5 steps. When you want to apply manure, think about this. First of all, how much do you need to go out there? That's for you to decide. Lots of different publications available. But then identifying those optimal fields with field risk maps. So what you saw today, Michael's pictures, maybe that person was close, or maybe it was an upslope or a dry field, or it didn't drain. So picking the optimal fields or the optimal place within a field. You guys are to the level, and I also echo what Michael said and give you kudos. You are to the level, not just on one field, but within a field. You know how to do some micromanaging, which is extraordinary and really awesome. This one, determining when to apply. That's what our manure spreading advisory is for, to help you out. That text alert system also, to help you out, to avoid some of those big issues. We sent a text alert advisory out for that exact event Michael was talking about. So those folks who are assigned to that, if you weren't paying attention, you might have not known we were going to get so much rain, but that gave you a few days leeway to prepare. Assessing your field conditions. That's our application risk management worksheet. I'll just remind you of that. And then, of course, applying and monitoring those fields and applying using your seasonal setback distance. So the first, our manure spreading advisory. So this is that real-time runoff advisory. It gives you a 3-day color-coded forecast. You can access this right from the Whatcom Conservation District webpage under Farmer Tools. There's also little cards at all the tables that has that address where you can go and find this. It's mobile optimized, it's real time, it's updated all on its own, and it's an extraordinary tool for you to be able to use to say what's happening today, tomorrow, and the next day. It gives you that ability to call the custom guy. If you're like, oh, it's like if you looked at it today, and it's not going to happen today for you, but let's say this was March, and it says high, high, low. So you know, like, oh boy, things are high, but I got a 3-day window, things are going to get back into play. Maybe I can schedule then. So this is your greatest positive decision-making tool you have that incorporates the weather and can help you avoid having an issue right off the bat. By the way, how much rain are we going to get tomorrow? Anyone know? You're probably not looking at this from a manure application standpoint, does anyone have an idea? Over an inch of rain tomorrow. That's a lot of rain tomorrow. When today you might be like, oh, things look like they're getting better, great. You know, but if you weren't tuned into some of these things or looked at the forecast, you would know that we're supposed to have a lot of rain tomorrow, but then followed by some nice weather. So it's a day to endure or to avoid, let's say if this was our manure application season, we say, we'll just hold off for a day and things should get back into play. So this is a great tool for you. This also has a link to the NOAA weather forecast that Michael showed an image of. It's a great forecast. It gives you by 6-hour blocks what the rain is going to be for 4 or 5 days out, the wind, you're going to get ice, is it going to snow, all that stuff. It's a great tool for you to be able to use for planning all sorts of things. It's really wonderful. So lots of stuff packed into this map for you. On here too is a link to the field risk assessment sheet. And that I'll show you here in a second. It's really valuable. I'm going to put this slide up to you again. That if you text this Easy Manure to 797979, you'll get some of this text I'm talking about. And I'm really hoping there's a lot of value. This is something that I'm doing just for you guys to see if it's a valuable tool. You can give me feedback anytime. It really isn't, it doesn't take long, but that first time sometimes it does help having some help. And I know I presented this previous years in detail for you guys, but I can always do it again if you need. And then lastly, your seasonal manure application setback distances. So during that time that Michael was just talking about October, what was your seasonal setback? 80 feet. I'm guessing in many of those pictures, people were not pacing that off right. So hopefully our little game today and some thought for you, getting a visual sense of setbacks or some way to measure that off, knowing that you've got trust in your custom applicator, whoever that may be, that person really has a good sense and has your best interest and well-being in mind and knows those setbacks and is doing them for you. That's really key. And just to know, this is not 100 feet all year round like the CAFO permit. This is giving you flexibility to farm, 10 feet from that water body or critical area during our no rain or very low rain. Use that whole field farming time. The shoulder seasons come September, and then coming into the summer. We want 40 feet. You really do need that allowance water in one big event. Can really travel. Maybe you got a sense of that when I was giving you some results from our edge of field monitoring that, a couple events and that stuff really can start moving. And then during that October all the way through February, 80 feet, you do need that extra space because your field is saturated. Your soil moisture is so much higher that it takes very little rain for it to start moving stuff. And it really, you lose very little by being that extra 70 feet from the summer or extra 40 from those other seasons. You lose very little in crop or anything else. You wouldn't even notice it. But you do have this real nice protection that I have done my due diligence. I am hopefully not a problem for water quality nearby. If you apply to a saturated field though, I don't know how you got out there to start with, but this may not be enough. Or if you're on, a very heavily sloped field, you may need more than 80 feet at certain times. So just to say, this is general good guidance. Your field might be a little bit more specific. So you just always want to customize it knowing that. So I just want to leave you guys with this today, that those applications, seasonal application distances are your key to making sure that you are going to do a really good job year-round. And again, you can find all this stuff on our website for you guys, and you can always ask me about this. So any questions about any of these tools, that you're going to go into the season and make exceptional choices and decisions and supported decisions that are going to be great this year. And hopefully, at minimum, that manure spreading advisory is going to be one of your best tools that you've got to give you a quick, easy, visual, red light, green light help out there too. Any other questions?